Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some boy band conversation. As always, my name's Diane.
I'm Chinzia.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Lydia, aka Mama Lou.
All right, so it is, when you are listening to this, October 4th. So it is officially the start of spooky season.
Yay!
If you live in Canada, we kind of have Thanksgiving first. It's next weekend. So, whatever. But I think the rest of the world, at least the parts of the world that celebrate Halloween, October is just considered to be like spooky month.
Spooky month.
So,
Pumpkin spice lattes.
Woo!
Fall weather. Sweaters.
Okay.
Leaves.
Are any of those
things.
things spooky?
Well,
I don't know.
It's in October.
Well, winter is
Anyways.
coming, so that's spooky.
Well, yeah, that's true. Everything's dying.
Okay, and
That's
also
a depressing
things.
day.
Leaves are turning. It's very beautiful. There you go.
That's why I said fall weather, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
But then,
But not
Continue.
spooky.
Diane doesn't like.
But then I didn't understand what it had. Never
I
mind.
have no
Never
clue. It
mind.
doesn't really matter what we say.
You're right. Anyways, what was my point?
I
My
have no
point
idea.
was that it's spooky season. And so we thought, what better way to celebrate here on Boy Band Break than to watch some spooky boy band movies. And by boy band, I mostly mean Backstreet Boys, because there's like NSYNC members are in movies, but they're not spooky. And I don't know if any other boy bands were ever in any like scary type movies.
If you know, let us know
In the
on
comments.
any of our social medias at Boy Band Break, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram,
Anchor.
This is
Is
a
there-
good point, actually, that we should bring up. So you've probably already seen this on our social medias, but if you only watch us maybe on YouTube or listen to the podcast via Spotify or whatever, it's still all there. But we've switched platforms. So if you were like a SoundCloud subscriber, we have switched platforms over to Anchor. It's just a better platform overall for us. There's going to be more things that we're going to be able to do in terms
Kind
of...
of sounds like eventually we'll be able to, like, you guys can leave voicemails and stuff. We haven't
Yeah.
figured any of that out yet, so we're just still exploring it. Also, it is free. So
Yes, and SoundCloud was charging ridiculous money, and we have no money.
And we can just like distribute it to more places and things like that.
Yeah.
So if you haven't made the switch, or you were on SoundCloud and you're like, WTF, where's the new Boy Band Break episode? It's on Anchor and iTunes and Spotify and YouTube and all those things where
iHeartRadio.
it was before, but not on SoundCloud anymore. Sorry about that. So,
But it'll be better in the end.
Well, 3 hours are on SoundCloud.
well, it still exists.
so there's 2 episodes there.
But there won't be anything new there. You won't be hearing this on SoundCloud.
Correct.
So I don't even know why I'm going on this long rant.
Well, it's good to explain. But
Anyways, back to the movies. So basically, as far as I'm aware, there are only Backstreet Boys scary movies, and we're going to watch them all.
Whoa, hold on. Wasn't Donnie Wahlberg in The Sixth Sense?
Yes, he was.
Was he?
He had a small part in it.
At the very beginning, I think. He
Yes.
murders
Officer
someone.
Joe? Oh, yes, he murders because, wait, can we,
Spoiler
spoilers?
alert on a
Can we-
20-year-old movie.
Hopefully
Are we
you
allowed
watched
to?
it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, because Bruce Willis was a psychiatrist, and Donnie Wahlberg went hoo-hoo and broke into his house and had an attack, and like he didn't think he died from it, but then we find out later that he did die from it, and that's why Haley Joel Osment can speak to him.
Yes. Thank
Although I
you,
still don't
Lydia.
understand how he was able to go into the church, because I thought none of the ghosts were allowed to go into church.
Maybe because he's religious.
Anyways, doesn't matter.
Okay.
How do you guys remember this movie so well?
It was very impactful. I see dead people. Everyone knows that line.
And then
Yeah,
everyone knows that
the
That's
gunshot wound in the head.
I literally
mom who
only
killed the
remember the
daughter.
I see dead people part. And then
I just remember
this,
Donnie talking about it, so that's why I know that he was in the movie.
Oh, okay.
This was supposed to be like
when
mind equals blown, and I
Yes.
was like, just
it was
confused.
confusing as we watched it, yes.
but it was a mind blow at the end because you're like, he's dead. oh my god, Bruce Willis was dead at the end of Sixth Sense, and I jizzed in my pants. Remember that song? No?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We were just talking about it actually.
Were you
this
really?
morning. Yeah, we
Oh my
were.
God,
Talking
that's
about that song.
really
Yeah.
strange.
Yes, because Chinzia thought this song about business
It's business.
Oh yes, business time.
It's business time.
was Lonely
Business
Island.
time
And
is
I
No,
was like,
it's
I'm
definitely
pretty sure
not.
it's
It's
not
Friday the
Lonely
Conchords.
Island.
It was Play the Conchords.
Thank you.
Because I'm like, Lonely Island is the jizz in my pants
Yeah.
and I'm on a boat
Correct.
and all those people.
Yes.
And-
Okay. Back to
Anyways.
this episode.
You're the one who took us off. Okay. Anyways, Diane.
move along.
Diane is the.
Anyways,
is the leader.
I
Okay.
was saying that I didn't know if there were any other boy banders in spooky movies, and you want to
Oh, Sophia. Sophia.
Well,
Okay.
sorry, it was me. I
Okay.
said Donnie Wahlberg had a small part in it, which
Yeah,
was true.
But technically, like,
and
it's
then
not like
you
this.
extended it.
Correct. Okay.
So it's-
okay,
we're all
it
to
was
blame.
yeah, we're all to blame. Okay. But yeah, technically, like, no boy bander has had like a lead role in a spooky movie.
Yes.
That's what the point
That
you're trying
we
to make.
know of. And if you do know of it, let us know and watch it.
Yes.
Okay, so
Thank you.
we're gonna be reviewing 2 movies today. The Pendant, which is a movie that Nick Carter put out in August of 2010.
Correct.
It was an
And
independent.
it was an indie movie. And then also in honor of our buddy Kevin Richardson, whose birthday was yesterday,
Happy birthday.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday!
we're going to be reviewing Vampire Burt Serenade.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Both really special movies.
That's a good word for it. Special, yes.
Artsy and independent.
Yeah, no, low
Interesting.
budget.
Yeah.
Um,
Full of heart.
definitely amateur in nature.
Yes. Okay. That's yes. Agreed, yes.
Anyways, so we want to start?
Not Oscar winners.
We want to start with the Pendant.
Yes, please.
All right.
That's more
So-
fresh in mind.
Okay, so Lydia has never seen the Pendant before. So ironically, Sophia, Diane, and myself were all at the Pendant screening. As far as I know, he only did the one.
Correct.
And it was August 13th, 2010. So we've talked about this a few times. So Sophia and I knew each other, but hadn't seen each other in months. We did not meet Diane until almost a year later.
Yes.
And I didn't go because I'm a cheap ass.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was $80.
Which
It
is
was
a
$80.
We're just like,
Steal
oh,
of
That's
a
a
deal
bargain.
compared to what
$80.
things cost now.
That's-
Like,
Yeah.
wow.
But we're like, okay, because you got to see Nick, you got to watch the movie, there was a Q&A, and then you got an autographed
picture.
copy of the movie afterwards.
Did you get a picture with him too?
Yeah.
And a
Yes.
picture with him.
Yeah. Let me
So we're like,
bonus.
oh.
That's
So
pretty
I
good.
was like, and at this point, I totally forgot about Sophia because we had met months before, and I was just like, I
Ouch.
don't really have anyone to go with. Like Gina and Olivia didn't want to go, and Lydia's like, no.
I have no money.
So then I was just like, so I actually didn't buy the ticket till the day before. And then I ended up going. And then when I got there, I ran into Sophia and Aaron and Lindsay and a whole bunch of other people. So I was
Ah.
like, oh, okay.
She was sitting in front of us.
Ah.
Which I kind of wonder why Sophia didn't reach out and say, hey, Chinzia, do you want to come to this thing? So
Or even Chinsey could be like, hey, can I come as well?
did you know Aaron was
The
going?
tea,
We went
the
together.
tea comes out now.
There you go, there you go. Anyways.
I love how
okay.
Chinsey is blaming me, but she could do the same thing. She could have been like,
Fun
hey, are you
moments.
going?
The phone works both ways,
Right? Like, come on.
Fun moments was Nick's manager Jen getting yelled at by an old Italian lady.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
How?
Great.
Why?
Yes.
It was in Toronto. It was downtown Toronto somewhere. In
It
this
was-
it was like a little tiny independent theater, right? So it was like one of those like you only have
I
one
want to say it was
screen.
called The Royal.
The Royal,
I
I
was
think.
gonna
Yeah.
say, if you live in Toronto, it's the Royal. It's on College, like Little Italy area.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's where the Italian probably came from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, here it is.
Tons of old
It was
Italian
6
ladies.
p.m. on August 13th. Join Nick Carter at the Royal Theatre in Toronto for an intimate screening of The Pendant, his directorial debut. All ages. I was offended that there was no popcorn. I feel like for that,
What?
we're going to a movie
She has
screening.
been saying that for years.
Granted,
it has been 10 years. I'm still holding a grudge on that.
Granted, it was a 15-minute movie, so
That
it
is
probably would have
correct.
taken longer to make the popcorn than it was to watch the
we
movie.
also didn't know how long the movie was.
Oh, you didn't?
But after watching
weren't
the
aware.
movie, we're like, you know what? That is fine. That is fine.
Yeah.
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 Then there was like the Q&A afterwards. So I asked a question. You asked a question. Did you ask a question?
Is this where we got the moose bone?
I didn't ask a question.
Did I ask a question?
It was the peace.
That was when she
Oh,
couldn't
sorry.
even like talk to him.
I have to say, so AJ and Howie were there.
Yes.
So
What?
So
Yeah,
we
like,
didn't
to
know they were
support?
coming. Yeah. So
Oh,
the
that's
boys were
nice.
They
actually
came
on.
at the last minute.
So the thing is, the boys were on tour. and they were in Toronto the next day. So then Nick's like, well, I have a couple days off. I'm going to do this thing in Toronto.
Very smart use of your time. Yes.
Canada has always been very supportive of the Backstreet Boys and Nick.
We are very
So
supportive.
he figured that it would be kind of safer to do this screening with a group of people that like you knew. And it's obviously more people live in Toronto, so it's like you're a bigger concentration of people anyways, right?
Yeah, okay, all right,
and
fair enough.
There's a big Backstreet Boys fan community. But yeah, so AJ and Howie came to support, but I believe they left during the Q&A.
Sorry, that was
an airplane?
I don't know what that was. Like
I feel like it was a
motorcycle?
Sorry if you could hear that.
Sorry.
Anyway, so we got in there, we watched the movie, then we did the Q&A, then we took pictures, and after we took the picture, then they handed us an autographed copy of the movie, and we left. So it was maybe a couple hours, if that.
Good bang for your
But it
buck,
was
though.
good.
Yeah.
I would say there's probably about 100 people there.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fairly good turnout. Just fun.
It was a good experience.
Yes. And
I think.
And what's really funny is that the pictures came up recently in Facebook Memories, and just to see all the people that had them, I was like, oh my god, I didn't know so and so was there, and this person was there. It was pretty funny.
It's like full circle.
Other good thing is that everyone asked him questions about movie making, which was good. It wasn't like music related, so there wasn't any. I was impressed with that.
Can I give you a
So
present?
then there was okay. So then I've said this.
Majority.
I've said this in a previous episode, but I'm going to say it again because this is my favorite memory. So obviously my first favorite memory is that I asked him a question about directing and stuff, and then he got all like flustered and started taking off his coat, his clothes.
He always
and stuff.
lost a train
And then
of
he lost
thought
his train of thought, and then I had
for
to ask him
everything.
again. It was something about like, being because he wrote, directed, produced, and did everything for this movie. I'm like, was it hard to direct yourself? And then he was saying that his buddy helped direct, and like, so it was like a good question, whatever. And then somebody else had asked, like, would you ever shoot something in Toronto? Because a lot of things are shot in Toronto. And he's like, the great part about writing a movie is that you can put anything you want. We can even talk about, like, if I'm going to be in Toronto, I can write about moose everywhere. And I'm like, so me and Sophia were like, moose everywhere?
Moose, come on.
Although in his defense, it was around the time when those moose statues were there, so
Yeah.
that could have been it.
Okay.
But I also don't think that was it. So we're like, what does he think? Canada's all moose? Like, ooh, so we're like, fucking loser. And then like a couple questions, and then this girl's like, Nick, I am from Montreal. I have a question for you. And he's like, okay. And she's like, can I give you a present? And he's like, yeah, okay, sure. So she's like, so my brother made you a peace pipe from a moose antler? And I was just like,
damn it!
oh my god. So like we were
laughing so hard.
And then when we met him, we went on either side of him. I fell back because I tripped on his foot and then sat beside him and fell backward. It was pretty awkward.
And I told him, sorry for laughing.
Sorry
and
for laughing.
I showed him like in the action, like.
And
why
then I was
laughing.
like, see you tomorrow. I'm like, oh, I'll see you
on the cruise.
On the cruise, right? So this was
And then we
August.
were
The
both
cruise
like,
was in December. And then Nick's like, or tomorrow at the concert? And I was like, oh right, yes, because I forgot. But I wasn't doing the VIP, so it didn't really matter. But
well,
anyways,
you'll see him.
it was pretty funny. Yes.
Okay.
And then that was when Diane went with her friend and does not recall the experience because she blacked out.
I think I very recently talked about this.
Yes, you did. Yes.
So,
Yep.
Out of body experience.
It was the first time I ever met him. So I was like, and at the time, to meet, like, to do the BSB VIP where you would go, like, alone, I think was like $300-ish, maybe $350. Sorry, my voice cracked there.
Diane's going through puberty.
Yes. So I was just like, $80 just to meet Nick, $300 and whatever to meet all of them. I'll take the $80.
Yeah.
And then Howie and AJ were there, so we basically saw them, and then we ended up seeing Brian at a restaurant right immediately after that. So I was just like, basically, I kind of met all of them for $80.
That's pretty good. Pretty good deal.
Yep.
But yeah, anyways, no, most of this has very little to do with the actual movie.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
so Lydia has never seen the movie before, so we thought it would be a great idea for her to watch this movie and for us to watch her watch this movie. So she did a reacts video, which will be on our YouTube page. So again, that's at Boy Band Break. And yeah.
So
was
you can
quite
check
entertaining.
out her, like, literally watching the entire movie and just reacting, like, her initial first reactions to just, like, everything that happens in the movie.
We forgot our DVD, so if you're looking for it and you have not actually seen this movie, because it was kind of hard to find, obviously. I think they sold it in the fan club for a while afterwards.
Yeah.
Don't know if you can actually find it now, but BSB in Brazil have uploaded it onto YouTube, so just look for the Pendant Nick Carter, and it's
It'll come
there. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Anyways, so the movie is about Nick, whose character is named I don't remember.
Oh, did
I
he have a name?
don't
Yeah,
remember
he had
the
a
name.
name, but I just can't remember what it was.
It's something like a white guy would be
Like a
named.
Yeah.
Jack. It probably wasn't
Like-
Jack.
No, it's not
No,
Jack.
Jack's
It's
Jack.
What was
Feel
I
free
saying?
to follow Lydia's channel, Dorkalicious. Super_Dorkalicious.
You got it.
His
Dorkalicious
name
on
is
YouTube.
like
And it's,
something.
Okay.
Anime and things like that.
Boring.
Why is it going off course
Like-
so much?
Matt or Mike.
Do you want me to look it up?
I'm looking it up right now.
Maybe Mark?
Oh, what if it's... Do you think it's on IMDb?
Don't
Probably
just
not.
Google the pendant because you'll get an actual necklace. Oh,
Okay.
and there's also a movie called The Jade Pendant, which is also not it.
Wow, there's a lot of
Don't you
movies
just
called The Pendant.
Pull it up.
Please?
Why don't I just look up Nick Carter and then it should tell me on IMDb?
What?
Please?
We literally just watched this.
But I don't
It
think
was
they ever
so-
said the
It
name,
was
did
so
they?
memorable, Cynthia.
I don't know.
Okay, let me see here.
Sometimes the,
Barrett. Okay, Barrett it is.
maybe
Name
that's
Barrett?
why.
His name is Barrett.
How do you
All
know?
right.
It's not a
Okay.
common name,
Not
so
really
that's
that-
why you don't remember
That,
things like that.
but it's definitely a white guy name.
Barrett was the guy from Final Fantasy VII, the black guy with the arm hand. I mean, the
arm
the
hand.
gun hand. So,
So maybe that's why
Oh.
he
He's
chose that
right there
name,
on that
because
shelf.
he's a gamer.
yes.
So
Oh, yeah. You know what? Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I just clicked on the pendant on IMDb and it says the plot is unknown at this time. Well, having
Same.
watched the movie,
Agreed.
that is correct.
So-
Yes.
Anyway, so Barrett and his girlfriend Sarah,
Sarah.
recently moved in together, and
to celebrate.
to
he-
celebrate, he bought her a necklace
so
pendant.
she was all excited to open this box and then saw it was a hideous necklace.
because apparently she thought he was going to propose to her.
So then she like put on the necklace, like, "Oh, babe, it's great," and then like looked like she was gonna go for a kiss, but then gave it like awkward hug,
yeah, it was.
and then
it was awkward
She
for
was
everybody.
disappointed, you could tell.
Basically, I
Starts
can
getting
sum up
visions.
the rest of the movie by saying that the necklace is haunted.
Yes.
So she starts having all these like weird visions
Yes.
and shit.
blood and dead baby,
And then Barrett is all like, "Babe, why being so weird?
you're on your
are
rag.
you on your period? We're
blah
like,
blah blah." And then
there was several period jokes and comments in this movie. It's a 15-minute movie. You don't need to mention your period that many times.
Anyways, then spoiler alert for the end of the movie. He goes to a bar because she's pissing him off, and then
The sex was weird. So
the
that's why
sex
he
was
went.
weird,
Oh,
so he
yes.
left. And then
Crocodile Dundee.
he
was-
tells him that the necklace is haunted, and then he's like,
but only
"Oh."
if she sees dead people. If she's not seeing dead people, you're cool. But if she is, sorry for your love.
So then he's
now.
like, "Oh, this guy's a loser. What the hell's he talking about? Blah blah blah." And then because Barrett's kind of a dick.
Yeah, he's like a super
It's kind of a douchey person.
And
But
then-
she's also being a weirdo. So I feel
Well,
like
she's
both.
being haunted. She has a reason.
Just
Fair.
say, "Hey, honey, I'm starting to see dead people."
No, she said
You
in the
don't-
movie, she was
yeah.
like, if I tell him, he's going to start making fun of me.
She doesn't want him to think
yeah,
she's
ergo,
crazy.
he's probably a jerk. So
That's
Correct.
the point.
That's correct, yes.
Correct, yeah. He
Mhm.
plays a douchebag
So
very
basically,
well.
she shouldn't be dating him.
Correct.
Anyways.
Yes.
at one, so the sex scene you talked about already.
Yes. Anyways, so then
Oh, no, you didn't.
Well, she's just talking, and then we'll go back and talk. About
Okay,
it.
okay, fine. Okay.
you can give your review of
Yes.
things
Ah,
after.
okay,
I'm
okay.
summing
Yeah,
up.
synopsis first. Okay.
Summing up.
So
So
Australian
he
man-
goes, the necklace is haunted. He's like, "Oh no, this guy's an idiot." Goes back to his apartment, and this is the spoiler: the girl is dead. And then for some reason, he's just very upset and
Obviously, you should be upset if you're
crying on the floor. And then the movie's over.
And that's where he's hitting it.
Then the guy gets
Oh
the
right,
pendant
and then
back
somehow the guy gets the pendant back and is selling it to someone else.
to start the new
Crocodile
horror story.
Dundee, whoever the fuck that guy is.
So yes.
Okay,
So
let's
what
go
did
round
you
in the
think?
circle, maybe. Chinzia, let's start with you.
It was an attempt, and the production quality was pretty good.
It was
compared to
a
other
good
movies.
first try.
You know what? He said it's kind of like his college project, right? So
Because he
was-
never went to college.
It was his first time trying it. He wanted to get into the movie making industry. Like he's obviously been in a couple of other little movies before, but it was kind of something he wanted to do, and it was a passion project of his, so he got together with his buddies and made this movie. So he wrote, directed, produced, something
That's
else.
pretty much.
Did a bunch of it.
Catered.
Yeah,
Starred.
maybe. Starred, yes.
Starred.
That's
There
it.
you go. There you go.
Okay, so yeah, so it was
It was
interesting.
an okay first try.
So, the
You can only go up from there.
Lydia's face is indicating otherwise, so please tell.
It was just a mess. It was just a mess. It was definitely a college level movie. It didn't make it. He made him look like a complete dick. But I guess
I think that's what he was going for.
Was he?
Probably.
Okay, maybe he's nice to women all the time. He's like, let's be a dick for a change.
True,
I don't know.
he's an actor.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, sorry. Okay, this was acting chops. Okay, then I was deceived by his acting talent then because he came off as douche. So, yeah, I don't know. It was just like, oh my god. It was just so cringe. And like you mentioned that during sex scene, he wears black socks to bed.
So yeah, so it's funny. So they're like, she's asleep. He comes in. He's like, "Hey, baby, that was good salsa." And then did he fart?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
It was very
probably
dark.
not, because then Lydia was like, "Oh, salsa's not sexy talk."
It's not.
Sexy talk about salsa. Because because she asked him if he wanted it spicy earlier, and then he was like, "Babe, I can't handle spice tonight."
And I was
Which
just
was
like,
like-
oh, like it was just so cringe.
So
I mean-
then the girlfriend gets on top. Oh, sorry, she's also having all these visions, and there's like this showing these historical things that happened with this pendant.
Yeah, okay. So,
Uh,
so the pendant. You're not explaining the pendant part. We forgot to explain this part during the story.
Okay.
The pendant. The reason why the pendant is haunted is because during like what like
Civil
the
War?
Civil War, like like when slaves were like liberated. This one family had a slave, and she's like, "Let's liberate our slave. It's the only one that we have." And the guy's like, "No." So then she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get Frankie up in this business." So then she and the slave have, and then she gets pregnant and has a baby, and then the baby is
Not white.
so then the husband is enraged and kills the baby and
The
her,
wife.
and then
Has a public lynch
and
mob.
then has a public lynch mob for the slave. And then
So the slave is haunting the pendant.
this is the thing that confuses me because the slave gave the pendant to
Yes.
the lady. Yes. So if anyone's gonna be haunted, you would think it would be the douchebag who killed everybody, but it's the slave who's like,
no, the slave is
"Ooh."
angry, so that's why he's haunting the pendant,
Oh,
and it's being passed down
correct. Okay.
generationally.
It's
Yeah, but-
all very confusing.
But why would the pendant punish a lady? The lady didn't do anything. It was the dude who wasn't like, no, I'm not.
Let me tell you the common thread that binds all these movies together.
Correct. Okay.
You guys are expecting them to make sense. None of them do.
Fair.
Okay,
Fair.
and in
Fair.
our defense, we are not horror movie people.
No, I'm not.
No.
I hate horror movies. They're the worst things ever.
So take this all with a grain of salt.
Correct. Correct.
Anyway, so in the actual theater, while the sex scene was happening, so was he shirtless in the
Yes.
on the bed part? Did we
Yes.
see him? So we see him shirtless on the bed, and everyone's like, "Woo!" And then he's just like,
And then
they're like-
as he's leaving
and
to
cheering.
go out the door,
Then he gets up to leave after she tries to strangle him. He's like, "Babe, you're fucking crazy." Then you see his like ass, not his ass.
you don't see
like,
his ass.
You see
His
like
butt in
his
shorts.
black boxer things, and we're all like, "Woo!" And then it pans down, and then you see his black socks.
and
everyone's
that
like,
part we were
"Ugh."
laughing in
and
the
everyone starts
theater.
laughing. So they're all like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, Nick is it? Oh, he's wearing socks." Like it was
I
entertaining.
feel like
Socks during
30
sex, that's
seconds
sexy.
into the movie in the theater, we were all laughing. So I was like, I don't think that's good.
And we were trying to be neutral. So Sophia and I were like sitting, I think, a row apart from each other.
You were
just
literally
kept-
in front of me,
They
yeah.
just kept like turning and looking. We're like, "What the fuck is this?" And then
Yeah.
like trying not to laugh. And other people are all like serious, like, "Yes, we're gonna." But we were not taking.
We were
it
not
seriously.
taking it seriously.
And then the other part is when he comes. Oh, so Lydia, when you were doing your review, I thought you were very enraged or interested in the fact that he got a glass of juice when he came home.
Because he
then
did a lot.
He's all like, "Babe, where's blah blah blah?" And Lydia's like, "Well, at least Babe made the juice for him."
I did.
And then he's walking down with the juice, and Lydia's like, "Why is he walking with the juice?
In case he gets thirsty.
In case he gets thirsty, blah blah blah." And then he gets to the bathroom door and like, has this heartfelt talk, and then opens the door, and then she's dead, and then you don't see it, but you hear the shattering of the glass of juice. And then
he like
goes,
slowly goes down
"No, why?"
the
Not-
door.
like a normal human being would then be like, "Babe, are you breathing? Like, kind of me possibly run over there?"
It's
That's
like-
when we turned to each
Oh,
other
'cause
like,
she's, like, covered
call
in blood.
911.
And I'm like, "Call 911." So Lydia's review, she's like, "Why is he not calling 911?" And we're like,
Yes, see?
Sophia and I high-fived because we're just like, dude. Yeah, so
It didn't make much sense. I think that's the problem, that we're trying to find logic in something.
Yeah,
where logic
we're trying to
also,
be nice.
I think it was, I believe he said it was shorter, and that's why they added the flashback scenes to make it a bit longer. But that also makes sense because otherwise it would make no sense, the movie.
Yeah,
And did you guys say that Lauren was in this movie?
Correct.
I thought I saw her too.
The flower in the beginning, the girl with the flower is her.
Oh,
Yeah.
So she's not
I
the
thought,
friend.
I thought she was a friend.
No.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
that was.
Did they
her
know each
sister.
other like intentionally during this time?
Yes.
Yes.
They
Because
were
they're
already
dating.
dating.
I
They were
want to
already
say.
dating?
I want to say 2 years at that point. Maybe a year. I don't know.
Maybe.
Interesting.
I don't know. I feel like you guys are looking at me, but then answering your own questions.
Yeah, they do that, yeah.
You're like, was it this? Yes, it was this. I'm like, okay.
We just need to look at your face because we're like, if you remember.
What year did we go on the cruise? Was that 2010?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
tried
I
to
think it
erase
was
it
10.
from my memory.
Because we.
So that would have been the same year as this, and he was already dating Lauren because she was at that cruise.
She was on the cruise, yes.
Yes.
And everyone was
Okay.
really
She
mad.
was also at that screening.
Was she?
Yes, she was.
Yes, she was.
What? No. Did you see her?
Yes.
We saw her briefly because she came in like last minute.
Did she have the pillow tucked in?
No, that was not. They weren't pregnant during that time.
Oh, okay.
It was
okay.
during Dead
This
7.
was 2010.
They were-
Dead 7. It was Dead 7. I think
Oh.
you're thinking of, yeah.
As far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong.
That was the theory where they're like, she's not pregnant, she's tucking a pillow.
No, but that was- they were
you're,
dating.
you're thinking
That's
of
later.
Dead 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dead 7.
okay, sorry.
Which was like 6 years later.
Oh, God.
I know, things mesh together.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Oh my God! Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Kenny, how do you stop it?
It's fine. Continue on.
Anyways, as far as I know, Nick and Lauren only started dating in 2009.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's when he made this movie, or maybe early 2010.
Yes, because it came out in 2010.
And then, so he was probably like, ugh.
Hey, babe, you want to have a part in my
Yeah, you can be in my movie, baby. Like, you know. And
That's
then,
a good way to hit on women, though.
yeah.
Oh, smart guy. Okay.
And then, yeah, now they're married and they have 2 kids. So,
Aww.
hey.
And their daughter just had her first birthday.
Yay.
She was definitely there.
Okay.
Yeah.
These got, see,
I didn't really know.
we were,
You have a different perspective.
I had a like completely different perspective.
It's
on
because
this
we
whole
were
thing.
told not to go in that area.
Why?
That-
What area were you in?
She was in the section where the
So
boys
look,
were
there
allowed
was
to
like,
sit.
So there was like a theater, so it has the main section, the 2 sides, and the back.
Okay.
So in the back there was
I'd
like
like
a
to
little,
hear Diane's version after
okay.
Trinia's version. Okay.
We're
It
just
cut off the back.
saying.
So there was like a section of like 5 to 10 rows in the back.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
where
you were the
weren't allowed to
commoners.
be there. We had to be in the front.
Oh, you had
So
to
we
be-
were told specifically, do not sit in this area.
And you disobeyed the rules?
Yes. No, she sat at the back of the area we were allowed to sit in.
Oh, smart girl. Okay. Brilliant. All right, Diane, I'd like to hear your opinion on what exactly happened during the Pendant without Trina speaking. Go ahead.
Well, they know this story better than I do.
You were there!
So I was gonna say, I looked at it a little bit differently.
Okay.
Okay, I was a fan. It's not like I wasn't a fan, but I wasn't like super deep into the fandom at the time.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, like, they were like, oh, starts at whatever time it started at. I don't know, 6 o'clock, let's just say. Okay, so I was like, cool, we showed up at like 5, you know, versus like I think a lot of other people had been there since like probably 2, 3 in the afternoon. So
I'm pretty
obviously,
sure it was a Friday.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it
I
was
got
Friday.
there like barely made it in time.
Oh,
I
I don't know.
had a half day and I like
So anyways,
met up with him after.
my only point was when we got there, we were like at the back of the line. Like most people had gotten there ahead of us.
Which would have been good for you.
Which kind of ended up being good because as they let everyone in, everyone went to the front of the theater, which I guess kind of made sense in terms of like,
Where would the VIP sit?
yes, and then like, you know, he's going to be doing a Q&A. Obviously, he's going to be standing at the front.
Yeah.
So you want to be like close to the front. So as we're coming in, you know, at the back of the line, the front is all filled up. And initially, my friend and I are thinking, why would you want to sit in the front row to watch a movie?
Give me like this.
And then we were just like, oh, I guess they want to be close to Nick's. And then we were like, oh, should we try to sit? Like, we're just 2 of us. So we're like, we could maybe like squeeze in here, here, here. And then we saw like literally a roped off section. And we were like, why is this roped off? And we're like, oh, Nick is gonna sit here. So then we just literally sat directly beside that.
Very good.
And then we were just like, if we can't be close to the front, we'll just sit beside him at the movie.
Brilliant.
Which proved to be kind of awkward.
Uh-oh.
Because then you're watching this movie, and if you've seen the movie, you know why that would be awkward.
So in the end, it kind of made sense that we weren't there.
So we're just like,
we would have been
shit,
laughing a
he's
lot.
right there.
Don't offend the
Let's
director.
pretend
that this is.
So we had to like pretend like we were enjoying it. So obvious, I wouldn't, if you know me, I wouldn't have like an overt reaction like they would anyways in a public place like that. Like I wouldn't be like, whoa, at any movie.
Yeah,
But I was just like, oh god. Me and my friend were just like,
oh my god, he's right there!
Okay, and then I was just like actually more distracted at the fact that he was right beside me. So then I was like looking at his
were you
reaction.
watching him watch the movie then?
That's
Yeah.
smart. That's
I mean,
smart.
he was kind of between people, so we weren't really sitting right next to him. Like I think it was like Lauren, Nick, and then AJ and Howie on this side, and we were like trying to look over Lauren, like, what's he doing? Anyways, and so we were just like, oh, okay, whatever, you know, like watching. But he was just like dead
They
serious.
didn't announce that he was there. They just started the movie, right?
Right.
Because they didn't want.
But they
us
told
to look at
us,
the back.
don't sit there. That's not.
Yeah,
for
they
you
were
guys
like,
to
we're
sit.
gonna
You
watch
have to
this
go in the
movie and
front.
then Nick
They
will come
literally told us
So we didn't
that.
see them come in because they came in at the very last minute, right?
Yeah, because I turned my head and I was like, oh, what's the commotion? And then you saw AJ and Howie come.
They're trying to make it seem like I wasn't supposed to sit where I sat.
No, we're not.
It was
saying
very
that.
obvious where you weren't supposed to sit. It was
No,
just
no,
hilarious.
We were
because
just
normally
told that
you
we
broke
weren't
the
allowed to
rules,
go.
Dave.
No, because normally I actually do scope out things. Every time I go to a venue, I check to see like where's the best part to be sitting at or standing at, or where there's entrances and exits and things. But I didn't that time because I saw them and I was like, oh, people I know. Let me go hang out with them.
And like I said, in your defense,
And there was lots of space there.
for the Q&A, you would obviously want to be closer to the front.
Yeah, we
Right?
were probably like 4 or 5 rows back because we didn't want to be like front row.
Yeah, we don't want front row.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that you're idiots for not sitting there. I feel
I'm
like
not
you
saying
I
anything.
did not
I just
think I was an
said
idiot.
they were telling us
Well-
don't sit there. So if someone is telling you don't sit there, you're
Yeah,
gonna
That
go
means to
move
sit
up.
there because something
Because we
juicy's
were earlier in
happening.
the line, so
Yes.
they were very adamant of where
I just
we
feel
should
like
go.
they're trying to make excuses for why they didn't sit where I sat.
No, I'm just telling you what happened.
We're just saying that we got there earlier and they said, you cannot sit in this section, go up front. And
yeah.
I'm like, okay.
So I'm just recalling what they told us.
But by the
Anyways,
time...
mind.
By the time...
moral
Is
of
that
the
not
story.
okay to say?
Moral of the story:
Moving
break
on.
rules sometimes because you.
I didn't break a rule.
Well,
though.
I know, but I'm just saying. Okay.
What is
Okay.
the big deal?
Anyways, back to this movie.
I don't get
I
it.
running
feel
out of
like
time.
they're defensive because they think that I'm saying that they shouldn't have sat at the front, but I'm not.
Okay.
All I was saying,
And all we're
was
saying
this
is we're not defensive.
We're
We don't
not.
care.
They just told us
And
to
that
sit there.
you're like, you weren't supposed to sit there.
Well, because I'm getting. I was.
Lydia is saying this. Lydia was not
I was
there.
not there. I was not there. I'm just. I'm starting the podcast.
all I was saying was they told us don't go in that area because you are in the middle part
But
of
that's
the
not where I was
line.
sitting.
Okay.
Okay,
doesn't
that's fine.
Okay,
matter.
long story
Moving
short,
on.
you both went to the thing. Let's continue with Dead
It
Seven.
doesn't matter. Anyway, so I couldn't be overly react. It was okay. I don't know. I just remember being like, oh god, that was really terrible. And then feeling embarrassed for him because it was so bad.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
feeling extra embarrassed because people were laughing and he was there. And I was like, oh my god.
One
Yeah.
of his parts was
If
like...
I was like, because he was like trying to be serious and stuff, like even the end, and people were like, "Boo!" You know, and I'm just like, oh my god, if I was him, I would feel so bad right now. And then like he
Yeah.
starts the Q&A, and he's just like, oh, I think you guys were laughing because you're like not used to seeing me in like serious roles, and I'm just like, oh, my heart is breaking for him.
And he's like,
And
you
then-
know, a lot of people laughed at things that I didn't think were funny. But then
Or
you
didn't
react
expect to
I
laugh.
didn't expect laughs at that part and stuff like that. We're like...
And I was just like, oh,
Which
this
is why
so
Sophia apologized when we
horrible.
met him.
Yes,
Yes.
because I felt bad as well, but also it was funny.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe he should have done a pre-screening.
You know what? None of us booed and none of us... heard
Exactly. We were still
Well, 'cause they
entertained.
didn't sell
no
anything.
tomatoes.
They didn't sell popcorn that you could throw. That's probably why
That's
they didn't.
probably why.
I don't think anyone would have done that. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
No,
for
it's
the
fine.
most part.
That's
And
why
we're supportive of pretty much
Yeah.
everything he does.
I
As long
just
as you're
think-
entertained.
I just think like it's really bad. So
It was bad.
It was
It was okay.
It was
not
bad.
bad.
Chinzia
No,
is
it was
being too
bad.
kind.
It was
was.
She just doesn't want to say that it's
Well,
bad because
we're going to segue into another movie in a minute, and that one I will agree with.
That one is
100%.
worse than this.
So all I'm saying is that I was just like, oh god, maybe he should not have done this in such a public forum. Anyways,
But at least you can say that I had made my own movie and I premiered in Toronto.
Exactly.
That's true.
So that's kind of a
Because
cool thing.
he did also kind of allude to the fact that he possibly wanted to do a screening in like LA or something, but he didn't want it to be in front of his colleagues and stuff.
Yeah.
He wanted
Right.
it to be in a safe place first.
Yes.
Yes.
And then they were possibly going to do some more screenings, and then they didn't do any more screenings.
well,
Yeah.
the first one probably didn't go as they thought it
planned.
would.
Yes.
Anyways,
and then the other takeaway from that day is that Justin took the pictures, and we were waiting forever for him to upload
Justin
it.
Timberlake?
Yeah.
No.
yes,
I was like, damn, this is like a family affair here.
No, their photographer Justin took friggin' ever to upload them, and then he because it was a spooky movie, he made like a spooky effect where it was all like black and white
The
and had
resolution
like
wasn't
the
good.
pendant right at the bottom, and everyone's like, "What the hell is this? Why can't we have a colored picture with Nick?" And he's like, "Sorry guys, it's black and white." And everyone was so angry. So, especially since for most people it was their first picture with Nick. So, but he was being artsy. So overall it was artsy. So. There you go.
Anything else you'd like to say before Diane would like to segue into the next topic?
No, I'm
because
good.
it's been 36
Yeah, we're
minutes.
good. Go.
Okay. Excellent.
Anyways, all right. Moving on to a more recent film,
Mhm.
Vampire Burt's Serenade. So this is a movie that Kevin stars in.
I believe it was 2016.
His character is Vampire Burt.
It's like a
It was called something else before, wasn't it?
Yes.
Bloody Indulgent?
Bloody Indulgent.
So I think it was released back around the same time that Dead 7 came out. Or
I believe it came out
Around-
in 2016.
Or maybe a year
Yeah.
later?
Don't worry, Chinley will find the information for you.
but Dead 7 also came out in 2016.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not crazy.
So let's do a quick synopsis of
So
what this
quick
is.
synopsis. I wish I could give you a synopsis
Can
that
I?
this had a plot, but it really doesn't. Do you think you could sum
Yes.
it up?
Yes, I can sum it up.
IMDb
Okay.
has one as well.
Okay, well, let's see what IMDb has to say.
They said a raunchy vampire musical. The sexy, violent musical is full of hot dancing, drug-addled nymphets, existential zombies, and gallons of blood. A Zappa zombie trying to kill a Backstreet Boy vampire. ... No, really.
But is that a synopsis?
That's
That's
not
what
even
is-
anything. Okay, let me explain. They're at a nightclub, and Bert's a vampire, and he changes some guy into a vampire bisexual. The girlfriend is upset and just wants to lynch Burt. And instead, Burt turns other people into vampire bisexuals. Then
Including the girlfriend.
Including the
Yes.
girlfriend, who then enjoys being a vampire.
yes, exactly. So then Burt
Maybe
leaves
a little too much.
to go
Then-
to a
No, she then starts biting everyone because she's like, "This is amazing," and then Bert's like, "This chick's crazy."
Kill her.
Terrible old man car comes, kills her.
The vampire hunter comes and kills her because she's killing too many people, and it's too
He
obvious.
didn't say, "Hey babe, don't kill people." It was just like, "Ugh, call up the vampire hunter, kill this bitch."
He
And then-
he didn't like her.
Yeah,
that's
the vampire
why.
hunter's like, Vampire Bert's my most best customer. Anyways, so then they're bored and they decide to go to a photo shoot
To get drugs.
to get drugs. The photo shoot is not it's a typical shoot. It's also a shoot. And then the lady...
Also, they were many hours late because they were supposed to be there at 7:30.
Yes. Yes.
There's a
And
song
We
about
wanted
it.
to punch that girl.
there was a lot of singing and dancing. Then after they come to the studio, then there's lots of drugs and sex involved in a toilet, dirty toilet.
Ah, yes. It
And-
was a scuzzy toilet.
Yes, and then
It was romantic.
then the
This
lady.
is not Kevin.
No,
in case
Kevin
you're
is
wondering.
not part of
Kevin
the
is not in the
scene.
sex scene, unfortunately. It's the weird young
It's
guy
the young
that
bisexual
the young
vampire.
bisexual
Yeah.
vampire.
And
Even
some
we kept
nerdy
saying
guy.
bisexual, but then it picked up on fake Rosario Dawson, I believe we said. What's her name?
No.
Fake Rashida Jones.
Yes.
And yes, and then they had sex in a scuzzy bathroom and sang about it while doing so.
Yeah.
And then there was a reprise later on in which they re-sang the scuzzy bathroom song
But
of love.
Burt
So-
was on a killing rampage. And he killed some people, and people were mad about it. So then they did a stripping
They killed
fundraiser.
the owner of the club. That
Yes,
was
the
it.
owner of the club.
That was
Sid.
this was before.
Yes. So then the strippers got upset, so they started to do a stripping fundraiser to
Strip
raise
off.
$10,000.
First annual strip off. God, there was a kitchen
Fundraiser?
Yeah, it was like a.
They
like
needed to. So they
Wait, I
called.
think I wrote it
They
down.
went to the vampire hunter's house, and said we would like Burt killed, and he's like, Burt is one of my
strip off. It was a called
biggest
strip off.
customers because he gets me to kill other people, so I need $5,000 as he's like spanking some woman.
Yeah, it
And
was like
then
some weird
They're
S&M
like,
stuff.
what? And then he's like, $10,000.
Now
And
it's
they're like, why is it 10,000? I don't know, spank.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bite this girl's arm.
Yeah, that was
and then
so weird.
the
But
transvestite.
Elmo, I don't get it.
Okay, was she a transvestite?
Yes.
Or was she actually a girl just
No.
played
Who
by
the
a
fuck
man?
are you talking
No,
about?
the red
Because
hair,
there was a lot
The
of
green tights.
Yes, that was a
the one who has a
transvestite.
twin.
Yes.
Yes.
Brother.
Okay,
That
so
was a man dressed as a woman who
Yes.
then
but
got
it's
shot.
supposed to be a man dressed
I
as a
don't
woman.
know.
I don't know.
It's not just supposed to
I
be a
don't.
woman.
I have no
I don't
I
idea.
don't know. what
'Cause then-
that was.
okay.
Stop trying to make it make sense.
So,
Yes.
anyways, then he's like, she's like 7,500, and Vampire Hunter's like 10,000. Spank, and they're just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, let's. And he's like, I need the money by tomorrow. So then they're like, let's have a strip off tomorrow night. And I was like, isn't that not past the deadline?
Yes,
but then
I know.
they're like, strip off,
Strip
strip
off.
off. It was very Bye Bye Birdie, where
It
they were
was
like
very Bye
calling
Bye Birdie.
everybody.
Yeah.
And then I started like almost like singing along. Actually, that one was the most catchy song, but I do not recall it.
And then they raised the $10,000, and then
They had to get it by midnight, so I think they like started it at like, I don't know, 8 p.m. and then they got all the $10,000 and ran over to the
Yes.
Guy's
and
house.
in the meantime,
the lady who got
sorry, it was a
murdered-
very equal opportunity strip off. So
Yes.
you had girls, you had gays, you had transsexuals, you had, lots of stripping involved, plus size, skinny, so,
Mhm.
non-discriminatory
Yes, it was.
stripping.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be very Rocky Horror vibes, and it just came off awful.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
So then they give the money to the hunter. So the hunter takes his ugly-ass old man car, drives over there.
In the
To the photo
meantime,
studio.
Burt and the young vampire guy have been at this photo shoot this entire time.
So it's been like a day and a
Just
half.
doing an entirely large amount of drugs. Like, they literally open bags of cocaine and just
Cocaine fight.
take it all.
Yeah,
And then
there's these 4 girls wearing white wigs.
I don't
and
know why
they-
they're important to the story. I don't think they are.
They danced. Those are the last ones. So Burt was having like an orgy. And
well, the
drinking
photographer.
blood.
So first she kills 2 gay guys, and then she wants to kill these 4 women.
But she's out of bullets.
Burt steals the
Burt
bullets.
steals the bullets, which you then find out she kidnapped these 4 women, which is kind of weird.
Mm.
And then
And she's not a vampire,
no,
but she likes vampires.
Yes.
and she
because
likes
they
drugs.
give her money. I don't know.
I
It's
don't
very
know.
weird. And they like her. They're like, oh, she needs to stay a human because she can get us drugs. And we're like,
Yes.
what?
Why do you need drugs as a vampire? But okay.
Anyways,
And then one of the girls was a virgin, and he's like, huh, you're this old and you're a virgin? And she's like, fuck you, dude.
I was
I'm-
kidnapped.
I'm
and then anyways, and then so then this entire time they're just like doing drugs, and then Burt like vampirizes all the girls. So now all the girls are vampires.
And then they get these like red like snake skin
and then
stuff.
he puts all
That,
the bullets
apparently
into
that
the
means
gun.
they're
Yes,
horny.
and then-
What?
He's
Yes.
killing people with a gun.
Yes.
And then there's like a big climax at the end where like all the strippers
Come
and the
together.
vampire hunter come and everybody comes together.
Hold
There's
on,
also
no.
a random bouncer guy who
Yes.
used to date Kevin or
Yes,
Burt,
And
rather.
Kevin might have turned him.
Yes, he
think
did
so.
because
Yes.
he convinces him because the ex-boyfriend bouncer man is gonna kill Kevin. Like, he has the thing, and then he's like, "If you kill me, you die
because I'm the head vampire.
I turned you into a vampire. So all the vampires that I turned will also die if I die." So then he doesn't kill him and
Which
just
is
joins
stupid.
the weird drug orgy. And then he's dancing as a bear. It's
Oh,
really
that was
God.
Bear dancing. What is that song called, right?
Dizzy Dancing Bear?
Yeah.
Something like
He's
that.
wearing
Yeah.
like one of those like fez hats,
Yeah.
like the red thing, and he has a freaking
And
little
he's just
umbrella.
like dancing
I'm
in
a
circles.
dizzy dancing bear.
Yeah.
And Kevin's like at one point just like putting cocaine on this stripper and just like whoa, like face full of coke, and he's just like Plah! And then and then the hunter came and brings the girlfriend that he was spanking, and she just chills in the car. Then he goes in and then immediately gets killed at
Like,
the front door.
instantly.
No, him and the young guy get into a fight, the cocaine
Yes.
fight.
Oh, yes,
cocaine
yes.
fight, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And then
Selling
all the
cocaine.
strippers show up, and then they're like, "We gotta kill the vampire young guy, and then he kills the vampire hunter, and then they're like, well,
so now the vampire
shit.
hunter's there. They're like, crap. And the strippers are only there because the lady who runs the cocaine factory.
The 7:30 lady?
No, the other lady. The one who was out of bullets. The one who was out of bullets. That lady.
That's the photographer. She goes and picks them all up. She picks
them up. So we're like, do they know that they're going back to this place?
I think she kidnapped them.
To try to get them for the next shoot.
Correct.
Yes.
And the shoot is, take pictures,
and then
you're
shoot
dead.
you. Haha, get it? It's a literal phrase.
So, meanwhile, by newly converted bisexual vampire girlfriend who got murdered by the hunter gets picked up by 2 zombies, and the zombies like, she's pretty.
Oh,
before I eat her brains, I want to kiss her. So it's like very like Snow White. And then when he kisses her, some of his blood bile goes into her mouth, and then she now becomes a zombie.
She becomes alive again.
So she becomes a zombie. She's like, oh, I was a vampire, but zombies are even better because you can eat a whole body instead of just blood. And then they're like very slowly make their way over.
Oh, and then there was like a dance montage.
And then, oh my god, there was a dance montage.
Oh my gosh, that was so bad.
And we're just like, what the fuck is happening?
That was literally the line.
And it was all artsy and black, and then just her green hair is out there, and they're just like, we're doing this dance because we're zombies. And then everyone's freaking out.
But they're all at this photo shoot, and they're all like, we gotta kill Burt.
Yes.
But then, because Burt had told Todd, is the bisexual vampire guy, who keeps having sex with the lady, that if you kill me, everyone's dead. So ho ho ho. So then they all kind of go in the room, and then somebody says, we can't kill him, everyone's dead. And they're like, who told you that? He did.
That's bullshit.
Well, obviously that's bullshit. He just doesn't want to die. And he's like, ha ha ha, more coke. And I was just like, I was just like, what is happening? Yeah. And then he put the bullets back in the gun, and then
he started shooting people.
Quite a lot of the people.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yes.
And
then he finally gets shot.
The trans girl dies, and then her twin brother miraculously appears. I had a twin vibe.
She goes in by herself. She's like, fuck you guys. I'm just going to go in there and kill him. And then she's like, I'm going to kill you, Burt. And he's just like, bam, you're dead. And then they're all just like, wow, what an idiot. And they're all sad. And then randomly her twin shows up.
Yeah. And he's all like dressed up all preppy, and he's like, I had twin vibes from my twin. Is she okay? And they're like,
she's dead. She's dead.
Sorry.
And then he's like, I'm gonna kill Burt. And then he goes in there, and Burt's like, bam, you're also dead. And then
it was just
everyone is very dumb in this
movie. They all die, and then you think, except for the vampire hunter's girlfriend, she kills.
Then she just starts killing people.
Burt. And everyone else who's left, and then she runs out of the place, and so
with the $10,000 check,
you think Burt is dead,
but no.
But then he's alive because you can't shoot a vampire.
He took out the bullet.
Oh, the silver bullet. He's like, yep.
Was it silver though?
Maybe they couldn't find a silver bullet. I'm sorry. Is a silver bullet not for werewolves?
Correct. I think it's for
because garlic and steak.
Correct. Yes, that is correct.
Delicious.
And the cross
thing. Garlic steak.
Yeah, the cross doesn't really do anything, but it keeps them away.
Sunlight. I watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I did too.
That was.
So this one was the worst movie.
So wait, what ended up happening at the very end?
He's alive.
He's alive, and he starts dancing.
Yeah, and then
and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm alive.
He's just like,
yeah, I'm alive."
And it's the worst.
Okay, so
I have
multiple questions. My note literally just said, "What the fuck."
Mine was, "What the fuck is happening?"
Mine is this a porno musical? They have a strip off. I'm bisexual. Was said probably about 17 times.
You remember what was that movie, I'm an Undercover Cop?
Yes. That's Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. He keeps telling everyone he's an undercover cop. This is what this Todd, I think his name was.
Probably.
Keeps
I'm
telling
a vampire,
people.
bisexual.
He's like, I'm a vampire, but now I have bisexual tendencies.
They changed his name to like Tornado or something.
They did.
Rocket.
That's it. Yeah, lots of drugs, awful songs. This girl, her tits. I wrote that down because that was a musical number.
Yes, I feel like that was in our chat.
Then, yes, whenever he bit someone, they would spit fire.
But one person didn't. And then there was some random,
there was like sparks.
Weird, sparkly sparks
it was
at times.
Weird.
So apparently those effects were not in the first cut of this movie.
What?
So then they changed it to that.
I'm sure that improved it greatly.
I have a quote saying, we gave us your blood, now give us the drugs. And then there was that awful wig that lady was wearing. That was definitely from Party City.
The weird photo shoot girls with the white wigs were like, we gave you our blood, now give us some
the
drugs.
Yes. No, the other lady who was wearing like the fake mohawk wig, that was terrible. She was like the leader of the strippers.
That girl,
and then
the part where he like sticks
cocaine
his...
fight, and then that's all my notes.
And then the part where Kevin sticks his face into the lady's stomach and comes back with all this coke on his face. He's like, "Look, ma, no hands."
Yes. Oh,
and
that
then
was embarrassing.
Yeah,
it was just, and you'd think that like Kevin is. Someone was saying Kevin's very picky with the roles that he picks.
Yes. So Kevin wants to be like a serious actor.
Yeah.
And he is very picky with the scripts that he reads.
Can you
Obviously, he did not do a good job of picking this
is
script.
Lydia's face while watching.
Thanks for Candid Cameron. Thanks for that picture. Wow.
Yeah.
That was pictures of me.
That was our horrifying face.
Oh my
God. That was just like, wow.
It was just terrible.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Sorry, I stopped listening because she was showing me the thing. Did you say like he refused to be in Dead 7 because he was like, this is too crap for me?
He wanted a script.
And yet he was in this movie.
Yeah.
Like he got a script for this movie and was like, yes, I'm in.
My question,
I guess because it was an indie movie and that's why he wanted to do it, but I think that was the wrong choice.
It could have been one of those movies where, like, you know, like The Room, where it's just so horrible that it becomes like a cult classic. Maybe that's what he was hoping for.
They were hoping for.
But it just fell flat completely.
Yeah.
So I have two questions.
Yes.
One, was Kevin and everyone else high while making this movie?
Yes, probably.
No, I don't think so. I think they
it would
were
be
like,
better acting if they were high.
Or they'd be like uncontrollably like weird. But like I think people think like this shit is artsy, like oh it's so like this, like it doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's part of it. It's supposed to be like a think piece. It's supposed to be like your interpretation
of society.
Drugs and there was lots of nipples.
Yeah, there were lots
during the strip off, and it was just
nipples.
like, where did these come from all of a sudden?
You know, like people think this shit is artsy and like, oh, it's so deep. It's like telling you about your own soul, how you interpret this, and like
society standards.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's just crap.
It's just actually crap.
And then my other thought process is that Kevin is attributed to the one that got both Nick and AJ off drugs, and then he goes and makes this terrible, shitty, horrible movie. No offense, Kevin, but this is the worst.
Awful.
It was really bad.
Like it was only an hour and 16 minutes. At one point,
only an hour.
That is the joy of this.
That was
I will never get that part of my life back.
So Josh called and interrupted us, and we're like, oh, and then Lydia's like, how much is left? We're like, 29 minutes. 29 minutes! Start the movie up again!
I'm just like, hang up with Josh. We need to finish this garbage. Because
it was just like, it was
bad.
It was just like, my face actually hurt because I was confused and had like a, what is going on the entire time, and it was
I had a horrifying look on my face because I didn't understand what was happening.
If you have not yet seen this,
do not buy
it. If you have Amazon Prime, or you have a friend who has Amazon Prime, that's where it's on. So if you have the account, you log in, you can watch it for free. I think YouTube also has it for $2.
Also,
I
do
would
not
pay money.
Yeah.
Do not go out of your way to pay money to watch this movie.
Yes.
But I think anyone can get a free trial Prime account.
Yes.
So if you're just like, this movie can't possibly be as terrible as the girls are saying, it's probably actually worse than what we're saying. Because I feel like our brain has blocked some of it from us because it was such a terrible movie.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think that after watching this movie, you're ever going to look at Kevin the same again.
No, and that's what Sarah was saying.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you really like Kevin and you're like, oh, Kevin, yeah, he's so like sexy and mysterious and
such
like
a sensitive,
quiet
wonderful
and
man.
like whatever, don't watch this movie. It's going to ruin it for you.
There's lots of swearing.
It's going to ruin the
Definitely
image
do not
of
watch
Kevin.
this around children.
Or your parents.
Or
oh my God, yeah.
maybe even your spouse. I don't know. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's just... And it's like, oh, is this supposed to be sexy? There's no sexiness either. It's just
I'd probably get
raunchy.
drunk
It's
first, but not too drunk, because I had one too many margaritas and then was like falling asleep. So that could have hindered the process.
A fun drinking game, which would probably cause you to get alcohol poisoning, would be every time that Todd or Rocket or whatever his name is says bisexual vampire,
Yes.
take a shot.
You would get drunk very quickly.
Every time Kevin has Coke on his face, take a shot.
That
Every
would be
time
awesome.
he
You have to
bites
just
someone.
constantly be like this.
Yeah.
And
Just have it like near your
it's
mouth.
Just it's a thing.
It's just awful.
It's a movie that exists.
Like
Yeah.
literally for 10 minutes afterwards, I was like, I couldn't form a sentence. My brain felt dumber having watched this movie.
Yeah.
And it was like,
He should definitely not
But
quit his
maybe,
day job again.
you know,
that's
I don't
for
know.
Sure.
Maybe we're just
Like I said again.
uncultured swine.
it could,
You know what I mean? Like, maybe we don't understand, like, artistic integrity and shit. I don't know.
yeah.
But
I feel like this is not good artisticness.
Also,
But that's just
I don't think
Kevin
it's-
looked like he was having fun.
Kevin looked like it was from the 70s.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm not also sure what time period this was supposed to take place.
because there was
the
some
one girl
kind of
had the
modern
80s
too,
wig,
right? I don't know.
and I wasn't sure if that was a wig or supposed to be her actual hair.
It was definitely a wig.
Well, I know it was a wig, but I don't know if she was just a weirdo. And then
She was a weird.
there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
If
But like
To
the
sum up,
Scuzzy
though-
bathroom song was not horrible. The reprise, I put 8 inches in you, well maybe 6, but I will
Now
put
We
my
Love
whole
You or
heart in your
something?
tight little body or something. I was like,
Oh my god. It was
I'll
just-
say
That was
this,
so bad.
I will say this.
Oh my god. Yes.
I think the acting was better than any of the other movies that we watched.
okay.
Better than Dead 7?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
Lydia.
I just...
But
Lydia.
the
I just
material
think
that they had
all
to work with
the
was
movies were bad
Thank
acting.
you. I have the
but
same
okay.
opinion.
But I'm just saying, of all the movies we watched, I would say this movie contained
More
overall more professional actors.
Fine. Fair.
Okay.
I will give you
Nobody
that.
we've heard of.
Professional
but
actors, yes, but not good acting.
There was obviously like a semi-decent budget for like makeup and costuming.
cocaine.
You know, that was pretty
the voices
good.
were okay in the
Like
singing.
the zombie makeup and the vampire makeup was like kind of cool. Like, you know, I believed it. I wasn't like,
Yeah.
wow, did you go to Dollarama
Yeah.
and just like, you know.
Okay, and then there was a big scene about how the strippers were spending a lot of money on makeup
Yeah.
and putting it on, and then
That was stupid. Yeah.
I just feel like this is a bunch of theater kids,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
Musical theater kids thought
Yeah.
this would be a fun romp to do.
Yeah.
Oh, we're hilarious.
Oh my god. How the hell do we
This
get Kevin
could
from the Backstreet
possibly
Boys
be
on
a
board?
fringe festival play. Actually, no, we after watching this movie, I no longer feel bad about our fringe festival
No,
plays, and I
yeah.
feel that they are possibly Tony Award winning plays
compared to
to this pile of garbage. But,
Yeah.
It was
But
bad.
you know what, Kevin? If it brought you joy to make this movie,
Then
We're
then-
glad that you were able to
Good for you.
experience this opportunity.
and if you have watched this movie and actually enjoyed it, and think that we are off our rockers, please tell us
in the comments below.
in the comments or what exactly you enjoyed about this, and were you drunk or high at the time?
All right.
So,
So we are going to review Dead 7, but that's not going to be for another 2 weeks. So not next week and not the week after. The week after that, you can tune back in and hear our Dead 7 review. The next 2 weeks, we have some other fun stuff coming up for you guys. And then we're back to the spooky movies, and then we have something super special.
hopefully it will
Halloween.
work. So we're not going to say what it is,
Yeah.
but we're very excited about it. Hopefully, we're
For Halloween weekend.
So stick around,
the
guys.
spookiness will continue. We're taking next week we'll do something Thanksgiving-y, and then we have something kind of special the week after that. Then Dead 7, then super spooky for the end of the month.
Yay!
All right, so keep your eyes here, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Share with your friends.
and all that jazz.
Thanks for taking a break with us, guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.